Yo, welcome, wonderful viewers, to the broadcast of today. Welcome to Ancient Idu. Welcome to the exciting broadcast of the Pulpit Bandit series. But today, we're going to have a different type of broadcast. We call it the Pulpit Bandit Extra +1. Or to those of you that knows the rule of and one in the game of basketball. So this is the extra. Oh yes. Today's broadcast is going to be a little bit different. Because we are going to discuss about this lady, Harriet Tubman, of historical times. But she's not going to be the focus of our broadcast today. The focus of our broadcast today is going to be this lady. We're going to bring her up to the screen so you all can perhaps see her. This lady. She's going to be the focus of our broadcast today. In the course of the program, as the program proceeds, you will get to know her name. But like we gave you a little bit of insight about Harriet Tubman and how she lived out the rest of her life. So for a quick recap on Harriet Tubman, she made the famous statement that said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed more if only they knew they were slaves." That's what she said. And Harriet Tubman was physically challenged. Oh yeah. She had a sad illness that was with her throughout the rest of her life, or perhaps throughout her lifetime. You know, she was a slave. So one day, I think in the field, where the slave master was irritated by someone and he picked up an iron rod. Out of anger, he threw it at the slave, but he missed it. And the iron rod ended up on the head of Harriet, little Harriet. She suffered multiple concussions. She passed out. Then after administering medical aid on her, she came back. But this time around, she had epilepsy, a condition that was with her throughout the rest of her life, or throughout the days of her life. So when she eventually gained freedom, she moved up north of the United States. When she got there, remember, she was epileptic. Regardless of that condition, she kept on going down south, kept on freeing slaves. She saved her family and everything. But what made her to decide to save a whole lot of people more? She wanted to save her husband, but her husband was comfortable in the slave condition he found himself. So he took a new wife. Harriet couldn't be heartbroken enough. So instead of wallowing in self-pity, she converted that anger, that pain, she used it to free 1,000 slaves. She was ready and willing to free more, but so many of them They don't want to get free. They want to be like the husband, comfortable in servitude, comfortable in slavery, comfortable in dehumanizing circumstance. They would rather be slaves than to go for their freedom. But Harriet was not like that. She was a rare gem. She did that throughout the rest of her life. Then today, in this present world of today, remember, she wasn't born with that challenge. It happened to her while she was growing up. Then, let's fast forward to this age and time. The lady on the other side of the screen. Take a good look at her face. Her face, the structure of her face. It's more of a Harriet Tubman. You will get to hear from her and her condition. She is a blind lady. She's not up to 40 years. She wasn't born blind anyway. It was a condition that happened to her while she was growing up. She had glaucoma, but after several procedures, over 26 to 30 or more, they couldn't rescue her eye and she went blind. Regardless of her condition, she fought hard. She was diligent in her duties. She kept on pressing and pushing. The world recognized her. While she was away in a global summit, she became a senator back home in Kenya. Something that she never knew about until she went back home to Kenya. She found out that she is now a senator. Regardless of that, once again, she kept on working hard, even up to this moment. You will hear her speak. Then I'll quickly, along the line, oh yeah, I might interject. After that, I'll quickly bring up two ladies for us to compare and contrast. So it will be left for you, the viewer, you that is watching this program right now, to decide or to give the narrative anyhow you want to give it. It is a challenge to you that believes that there is disability when one is handicapped or when one is disabled. So let's go there. Let me give her the floor to speak now for us to proceed.
If all you see is all you see, then you don't see all there is to be seen. For anyone who is visually impaired in the audience, what up, first of all? As a visual description, I'll start by describing myself. I am a black African woman, 5'7" and some change. I'm wearing black flats. My hair is up in an interesting situation. And I've got on beaded earrings, Maasai earrings, and a black dress, which I call my power dress. I wear it when I need a bit of confidence. I wear it when I need a bit of confidence because right now I'm sweating in many places. My knees are like jelly and I really need to pee all of a sudden. But thank you for having me. I had my first major eye surgery in 2010. General anesthetic, knife to the eye, 2 hours instead of the quick 40 minutes they had anticipated, and it didn't work. In fact, I came out of theater having lost more of my already declining eyesight. You see, since high school, I had been losing my eyesight, very slowly, very gradually. And at the time, I had no idea why. Glaucoma wasn't a word I'd ever heard before. None of my family had either. Then the ophthalmologist told me it's not just glaucoma, it's glaucoma the remix. He said that my glaucoma had already caused a lot of havoc in my eyes and that they will not be able to stop it. That it's more aggressive in Black Africans because of the color of our eyes, and that I'll probably be blind by 25. Between then and now, I've had over 20 different procedures, trying desperately to get back even a tiny bit of what I lost long ago. I was a teenager then. As my friends were discovering their paths and future ambitions, I was thrust into a world of darkness, grappling with the heavy burden of visual impairment in little Mombasa Island on the coast of Kenya. It's one thing to go blind, but it's another thing to go blind in a society that clings on discrimination, steeped with traditional prejudices. My name is Senator Crystal Asige, a human that is crazy about amplifying the voices of those who are overlooked and underestimated, the underdogs, like I have always been. I'm a fervent believer in making people feel seen and heard, no matter their ability or disability. If you find me on social media, it may look incredibly colorful. You'll see me in Parliament one day, in the studio the next, with politicians, the UK trade envoy to Kenya, then to a doctor's appointment in the evening. But in reality, all of who I am work harmoniously to fulfill my assignment, my purpose. I feel like I've already lived 5 lives in one and encountered a plethora of lessons, each brimming with wisdom and perspective. However, the most crucial lesson I've learned is if all you see is what you see, then you don't see all there is to be seen. Let those words resonate, because they encapsulate my journey. In the depths of isolation and despair, I learned that if you cannot change a circumstance, then change the way you look at your circumstance. Because what is the alternative? In my case, the alternative was to give up. But that did not sit well with me. So I made the choice to either accept what is or commit to what could be, and I chose the latter. It became crystal clear to me that there is a difference between visual impairment and disability. This is visual impairment, but this is disability. I very quickly learned that disability does not discriminate. People do. In fact, disability can be the catalyst for unparalleled strength and adaptability. The most extraordinary gift my disability has given me is resilience, an unwavering determination to rise above adversity, and the ability to pivot and turn things around when they seem to be going left. I'm sure that's something that we all share here today as young people, right? Fast forward, the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs found me in my work, just a needle in a haystack of change makers like you, and invited me to last year's summit. It was here where I got the news that I had been gazetted into the 13th Parliament of Kenya. It was pretty wild. I came to one young world as an ordinary Kenyan, but returned home as a senator. Now, I'm at the heart of Kenya's dynamic political landscape, gracefully navigating its twists and turns. I am one of the youngest parliamentarians, one of the top performing female senators, and also voted top 40 under 40 in Kenya. Hey! The platform on which I stand today has played an integral role in shaping me into the person that I've become. It has infused me with the confidence that is nothing short of transformative. It's given me a glimmer of hope and inspired people who are young watching me, not only in Kenya but across the globe. Given me a voice that I've since used to champion the rights of PWDs, the youth and women in Kenya. It is truly remarkable what confidence mixed with hard work, good timing, and throwing in a dash of magic beans can achieve. Since the last summit, I've tirelessly worked towards making Kenya more inclusive and equitable. The laws that I am sponsoring now, such as the PWD Bill, the Kenya Sign Language Bill, the Learners with Disabilities Bill, the Startup Bill, the Public Participation Bill, and 4 major amendments to transportation laws to address increasing road crashes that are killing too many young people in Kenya today. I'm trying to pave a way for a more brighter and accessible Kenya for everyone today. Standing before you, I am not just Senator Crystal Asige. I am a visually impaired person, representing people with disabilities who are treated as taboos, pushed into the shadows, and hidden from the faces of the world as if they are less than or less than. My mantra that I walk around with every single day is, I have glaucoma, but glaucoma does not have me. When I spoke to you a year ago, I wore the same hat, carrying the weight of those unheard voices. From this place of determination and purpose, I started the Crystal Asige Foundation, which is dedicated to creating an inclusive society to break down the barriers within our infrastructure, our systems, society, and culture. I aim to open doors of opportunities to marginalized groups, especially PWDs. I haven't left my creative side behind, though, and I am still using music to get young people excited about current affairs. Maybe the next social media hashtag will read, Senator Crystal Asige sings in Senate. After this session, I hope you'll remember me as an example of a shattered stereotype. People with disabilities are not mere charity cases or prayer items in the neighborhood Bible group. No, we are individuals with skills, talents, and powerful inherent creativity that can surprise and elevate the world that you have never imagined. Though I am now a politician, I am a person first. I won't barrage you with geopolitics and geoeconomics. Instead, I want to focus on leaving no one behind. I'd like to remind you that leaving no one behind includes yourself. Give your all, be authentic, embrace all aspects of yourself, and don't ever hide. In keeping with this year's theme, peace and reconciliation can't work if we are separated and individualistic. It requires a collaborative endeavor. Remember, if all you see is all you see, then you don't see all there is to be seen. From here on out, ask yourself, who haven't you seen? What haven't you seen? And more importantly, what about you haven't you seen yet? Thank you very, very much. People with disabilities who are treated. Remember, if all you
Let's stop her there. Okay. I believe that you all heard what she said. Huh? I believe that you all heard what she said. Her story is a remarkable story. That cannot be swept away just like that. Why I decided to bring up this lady here is to use her as a baseline for the message that we have to roll out. It's a message of hope that should be able to challenge you, the viewer. It's a message that has to challenge you to be humane, to practice humanity. She is from Kenya. She was in high school. The problem started, and what did the doctors tell her? They told her that before she gets to 25, that she will be blind because the glaucoma has gone beyond the stage of redemption. They cannot reverse it. But she held on tight to her dreams. She was discovered because she was in a place of honor. What is that place of honor? She was busy. A place of work. She was doing what she knows how to do best. And you see, the best definition of luck is when opportunity meets availability. Huh? It's when opportunity meets availability, and it also means when opportunity meets readiness. You need to be in your place of duty, doing something. You need to be focused. That dream that you have inside you should be your goal that you should be working towards, regardless of the mountains before you. For every mountains must be brought down only to those that have a will to climb the mountain, surmount it, and scale over to the other side. She was working. That is what they call divine providence. You cannot be in your house sleeping and expect such to happen. It's in rare cases. You cannot be in the church doing all sorts of stupid things in the name of P-R-A-Y. P-R-A-Y-E-R-S, prayers. What are you praying for? Prayer is okay, because with prayer, doors open. But after praying, what else? Prayer is faith. But according to the Bible, it says, show me a man that prays or that have faith without work. It's impossible. She prayed in her heart, she worked hard, she was noticed right there in Kenya, not even in the city of Kenya. And she moved to a global summit. From there, she became a senator in her country. She never knew. The 13th Senate, I believe that should be the highest level of senatorial appointments in Kenya. And you all could, or maybe you heard what she said about the bills that she's pushing in Kenya. Let me take it forward to this point because, no, okay, I wouldn't play her now, but because I will need to put something in there for you all to listen. Now, this lady, with her condition, she has made impacts, not just in Kenya, but in the global field. She has made great impact, a gigantic stride. Kenya is not as rich when it comes to resource-wise, such as Nigeria. Although they have a lot of pulpit bandits there in Kenya. But it never stopped the people from thinking and working out hard as this young lady. She pushed. And there is something about having a media voice. It depends on how you want to use it. Because there is always two ways in life. One is negative, the other one is positive. It depends on which destiny or where you want to step into. If you want to step into the negative side, it's entirely up to you. If you want to step into the positive side, it's entirely up to you. Either way, both ways, you have to work towards it. If you get into the negative side, you are working there. If you get into the positive side, you work harder. She decided to work harder, work smarter today. And you can see, or perhaps you hear from her, the way she spake, the words that came out from her mouth. They were edifying. And the people cheered her up. They believed in her as a young senator. She's not up to 40. She's still in her 30s. Sana Marine That's a name I've been struggling to remember. I don't know if she's still the Prime Minister of Finland, or perhaps she has left. Someone else is there. But she was 33 years when she was Prime Minister of Finland, second term appointment. So at what age did she get into the Senate, into the Parliament? She was in her 20s. And she became the leader of that country, Sanna Marin. She was not involved in prayers the way your pastors have deceived you and ridiculed you. That's a young lady in Finland. But when we speak about Sanna Marin, people said it's the Western world. It's not possible. They made all manners of excuses to support their madness. Okay, we move down to, is it Sierra Leone or Sierra Leone? The young guy that became the president. People kept on talking trash about that. When I say people, I mean the Nigerians. Today, behold, a physically challenged woman, blind, and a senator in Kenya. Member Senate, the 13th Parliament Senate, which is the highest Senate office in Kenya. That is where she is as a senator. She is blind. She wasn't born blind. She got blind during her days in high school. Like Harriet Tubman got epilepsy through an accident when she was also little, by her age. And this woman, in this world of today, contemporary times, she has made a step that even those that have their eyes open cannot easily make, such as Chimamanda Adichie. She's not up to the level when it comes to academics of what Chimamanda Adichie have achieved or Okonjo-Iweala Iweala. But she has made gigantic impact in the lives of people in Kenya and across the world. She says she's pushing a bill to ensure that the accidents in Kenya, road accidents, is reduced, if not completely cut off, so that the lives of Kenyans will be secured. She's working hard towards it. But in Nigeria, we have countless churches and so-called super generals of God that don't know how to talk. Once they open their mouth, they talk rubbish. Do you know why? Because God Almighty have decided to make them mad so that they will keep vomiting rubbish. But the most sickening thing about it is that in each of their auditorium called church or coliseum called church, you see countless members there, both at home and abroad in the diaspora. You see it, and you keep wondering, how is it that these people don't know what is going on? And every time you see the Nigerian preacher come out, they come to curse people and tell them how they will die. But this is a young lady fighting to save lives. She's saving lives. Harriet Tubman saved lives. This young lady in this time and age, she's saving lives. In Nigeria, they will ask you, or perhaps they will urge you to die. If you don't want to die, they will assist you to die by force. In Nigeria, your pastors. Every day in Nigeria, hundreds of people are killed across all board. True crime, extrajudicial killings by the uniformed men, through medical negligence, through propagation of false information. People get killed, people get jailed for no good reason every single day. There is no day in Nigeria that at least 10 people wouldn't die in Nigeria. From south to north, no day. But have you ever seen any of your Nigerian pastors or religious leader or political leader or leader of any sort come out to stand their feet on the ground and fight and say, enough, we need to save lives in Nigeria? The answer is no. The answer is no. Have you ever seen Chimamanda Adichie speak about these things? The answer is no. But it baffles me that she is always hosted by some, I don't know if it's a program or they paid her to do such. She always comes to preach about the unity of Nigeria and Africans. She always comes to tell us about what the colonial time did to us, what slavery did to us, that she was Igbo and they gave her Nigeria and so on. All those crappy words that doesn't make sense, that doesn't add up. She goes to Nigeria, she walks with Obasanjo, holding Obasanjo by the hand, walking proudly. A man that committed genocide on your people, that wiped over 5 million of your people. A man, let me say, he's a criminal of war crime. That is what he is. Walking freely and celebrated in Nigeria. While you, Chimamanda, you are there with the same man that killed your people. And you are happy because you finally got to be with Obasanjo, the great King Kong. The great baboon. You have finally had the opportunity to be with him. It's a shame. What impact have you made in the life of people? It's a big question to you. Oh, you won a Nobel laureate. What is there in a Nobel laureate? Who are you in the field or in the world of women? You're absolutely a nobody. Because you are like one that built the house upon the seashore. When the flood comes, it will wash it away. But this woman has built hers upon the rock that shaketh not. And her name will remain in the annals of history forever, just as the name of Harriet Tubman. Another one that I will still highlight about is Okonjo-Ngozi Iweala. What impact has she ever brought home to Nigeria, more especially to the eastern part of Nigeria where she came from? She can brag to be World Bank governor, World Bank president, have international honors and everything. But as far as she has made no impact on the ground, everything she has is a waste. Pipe dream. A woman that said they made him the president, so there is nothing we can do about it. We need to accept it. What is she talking about? Who was she talking about? They recently concluded elections in Nigeria. That is questionable. For a woman like Ngozi Iweala, she shouldn't have said a word. She shouldn't have even involved herself. But she came out to endorse the criminality of that election and said they said, who are they that said? It clearly shows that she's a slave. She's serving someone. But you see this young lady here, she stood her ground and said no. So my deduction from this very program is simple. If you agree to something, then that thing will take place. It will happen. The book of Amos 3:3 said, can two walk together except they agree? Why is it that this lady here didn't say, oh, they made me do this, they made me do that? It is because you agreed. There are people of honor that no matter what you give them, they reject it. Look at Taiwan and China, for instance. Despite all the cutting China have done to Taiwan with billions of dollars, giving them offer that they cannot reject, they rejected it. They said their freedom is far more important. You can keep all the money in the world, but we want to be free. Can that happen in Black Africa? When we talk, they say, no, it's there, it's there. But Africa is different. We have our ways. If you have your ways, that is why Africa is still at the bottom level of the human existence. Africa is still at the bottom level. And I doubt if they will ever rise up. Until we have people like this young lady everywhere, people with her mentality everywhere, then there will be a light of hope in Africa. Look at Nigeria. We have so much human intellect, resources, and everything. Probably that is why they said Nigeria is the giant of Africa. What happened? Why is it that these people, they don't come back home to help Nigeria? Because the case of Nigeria is beyond redemption. Beyond redemption. You don't know who is who. If Okonjo-Iweala can come out to support a fraud, a crime such as the election that happened in Nigeria, then you don't know who is who in Nigeria. Because everyone that we look at is already a saboteur without even starting up. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream that someday his own children, that's his generation, they will be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. Today, are Black Americans enjoying that liberty? Yes or no? Malcolm X, every one of them, they fought for it. The Black Americans today are enjoying it. They know what liberty stands for. But look at the Nigerians. Can they enjoy such liberty? The founding fathers of Nigeria were the baseline of these corrupt practices. The Bible said that if the foundation be spoiled or destroyed, what can the righteous do? Nigeria was strictly built on faulty, shaking foundation, deliberately. That is why what's going on in Nigeria now is happening. I am 1,000,000% disappointed in Okonjo-Iweala and Chimamanda Adichie. Both of them, at least to a greater degree, they have some level of voice that they can grant interview and give narratives the way they should give it, but they will never ever do that. They rather prefer to be displayed as a showboard so that people will praise them and say, oh, you have masters, you have PhD, you have doctorate, you are an emeritus in the academic field, you have all these things. You have a root, you have a baseline, you have a foundation. The answer is no, you are just floating. They are floating, every single one of them. That is why a lady or a woman like Iweala, the son, is based in the United States. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there. Because it will look like a personal attack. But naturally, I should have gone there so that let it be a personal attack. I should have gone there because it's a disgrace to see things like this happen. We will call out names. We will call out names. If you know that you don't want your name to be called out, not just by us, but by some other people, then do well to do well. Okay? Do all you can to do well. Or you walk away silently with no one noticing you, and you enjoy all the fruit of your labor in serene peace. Ancient Idu came up as a result of the fact that there are lots of our people that are on media, but they are not propagating the truth. They are not propagating anything at all that will benefit humanity when it comes to education-wise or narrating the truth the way they should say it. You see our people coming out deliberately changing the truth. Here, we don't transliterate. That's our mantra. We don't transliterate. We translate what our eyes see. We say it the way it should be said. That is the most important thing. Calling a spade and not an office tool. We fit in square holes, square pegs into square holes, round balls into round holes. When you look at the Nigerian media personalities, you see them both from the social media point of view and to the normal mass media, the general mass media. You see them sit down there and say all manners of lies. They don't bait their eyelid, they say it. Even Satan himself is amazed how these people tell these lies with no conscience. With no conscience. When they come out on the social media space, what they display is a bundle of disgrace, a bundle of shame. What they display. So that's one thing that is quite baffling. Because I'm going to put up a young girl now on your screen for you all to see and reflect on it. Is this what the youths are meant to do in this time and age? This is pure foolishness. There you see her. There she is, right there on your screen. What did she do? She decided. She literally decided to act as the Virgin Mary. What's her name? Ekene Umenwa. Ekene Umenwa. Umenwa. Yeah, I got that right. Ekene Umenwa. That's her name. Where is she from? She's also from the side where Okonjo Ngozi Iweala came from, where Chimamanda Adichie came from. This is a place where foolishness is glorified. This is a young lady. She's pregnant. You can see the baby bump. She had to copy that which has to do with the Mary of the Catholic Church. Not even of the Catholic Church now. She had to ridicule the Christian faith, the Christian doctrine. That is what she can wake up to do and put it online. She thinks she's a star. Truly, she's a star of foolishness. This is the height of it. You know, here, we are bringing your shame and we'll put it out there in the public spectacle, in the public space for people to see, since you don't have shame. And the way we narrate it is the way it will be in the minds of people. They will see you all as idiots, as deplorable things. This is the pulpit bandit extra +1. Share this broadcast. Share it. Take it around. Let it go around for people to see. Because here is your conscious zone, where we'll bring your consciousness, we'll wake it up in an aggressive way. We speak incisively to wake you up, because we don't believe in pampering people or trying to talk sense to people. We abuse sense into you. We don't talk sense into you. We abuse it into you, so that at least for once in your entire stupid lives, you will feel shame. You will be ashamed of yourselves and try to tell yourself the truth. Look at a blind lady there. Just look at a blind lady. She was in her place of what? Duty. That was when divine providence met her. She went abroad. She was in the global summit. From there, she became a senator back at home without even knowing. From that time till today, she's not even up to 40. She's working very hard. Look at her hair. Can you all see how natural that hair is? It's not like the useless things that call themselves females in Nigeria. Oh, females in Nigeria. Yeah, that's true. There's a group known as females in Nigeria, but I'm not referring to that group. So, as I said, females in Nigeria, to you, the females in Nigeria group of mad people, I didn't mean to insult you, but you are all mad people, all the same. Mad people everywhere. Look at you all. Look at her hair, how natural it is with all her level and achievement in the world. Look at how simple and natural she is. When you get to Nigeria, you meet the Nigerian girl. They will display their foolishness in the name of beauty. And they will tell you that their hair, they bought it for $5,000. Who gives a damn about that? The height of Vanity Fun Fair. You will see a girl in Nigeria, a female in Nigeria that doesn't have a shit, no foundation, no basis, no home. But she can walk about or walk around with a bag of $3,000, $10,000, and she will be bragging about it. Like the one they call Linda Ikeji. I'm pinning out these names. Get this broadcast, share it, so that it will get to these idiots. Linda Ikeji and her sister, every now and then displaying bags and shoes. That they have over 1,000 bags of shoes that they have not used for 1 year, brand new. Who cares about those things? Is that positive impact in the society, in your own immediate community? Is it a positive impact? That's the question I'm asking you. You should be ashamed of yourselves. A people that are oppressed, repressed, suppressed in the country they call their own, with no political willpower, yet they are the loudest when it comes to making of noise. The Igbos, what a cost raise. Don't get me wrong, I'm not attacking the identity of the Igbos. I'm only attacking your foolishness. Your foolishness is baseline foolishness, baseline, foundational foolishness. That is what I'm attacking here right now. Look at a blind lady and what she has achieved. Then look at yourselves in the zone called Nigeria, in the space called Nigeria. Can you all see yourself? Mad people everywhere. I'm gonna play this lady. I'm gonna play her so that you all will get to see. You all will get to see her. And hear from her the way she speaks. That is a Nigerian woman for you. That's an example of a Nigerian woman. The type of vulgar that comes out from their mouth. This one is here acting as Virgin Mary. Making a mockery of the scripture. The scripture that she knows nothing about. And I'm sure that if you talk to her, she's an empty head. In this pulpit bandits extra, this +1 will bring out a whole lot of things. This one now is attacking the foundation of the madness in the space called Nigeria. We juxtapose it side by side with the regular pulpit bandit series. Side by side. That is what we are going to do. Look at her. Ask her the history or her culture. She doesn't know. But she's there making fine face. See, a badly brought up person, be you a male or female, you can never ever be able to bring up a child in the right way, according to the way the scripture said. Bring up a child in the right way, so that when they grow old, they will not depart from it. So if your mother is like this thing on your screen, or if your mother is like this gangster called Funke whatever, or Fumi whatever, if your mother is like this, then I understand the type of children that she will give birth to, because definitely they will give birth to nonsense, garbage, giggle, garbage in, garbage out. That's what they will produce. That is why the foundation of Nigeria is the way it is right now. The mother of these two ladies, their mothers, were a bundle of bullshit. Complete bundle of bullshit. That is how they were able to raise animals like these people. Listen to the useless woman. That is your pastor. Pastor that doesn't have a gauge. The Bible said a bishop should be prudent in speech. The Bible talked about the position of a prudent woman. This woman has nothing. And above all, the Bible said a woman shouldn't teach. But this thief here on your screen, she's a teacher, she's a preacher. She is a protege of the great thief called, what's his name? Adeboye of the so-called RCCG. People that will stand on the altar and curse you out and tell you how you will die if you don't pay tithes. That you must give them that money. And they say it openly these days. They don't hide, no shame. They are not regular reprobates. These ones are hyper reprobates. That's what they are. Hyper reprobate. Hear these reprobates speak.
Don't try to drown the person that taught you how to swim. You will drown. The man of God that held your hand when you were nothing, when nobody will have touched you with the longest of poles. The man that stood there, stayed with you while you were having your babies. The altar that blessed you. Don't take the testimony to another place. Sometimes ministry can be a thankless job. Don't join the bastard ministry.
You heard her. Sometimes ministry can be a fatless job. Don't join the bastard ministries. Look at her. Look at exactly what I said. They don't know how to speak. And people are there listening. The Bible gave a strict command. Call them out by their names. Call out the apostasy. The Bible said these are sleeping dogs. These are dogs of corruption. These things. The Bible made it clear that the tithes of the Levite, of the children of Israel, must go to who? The Levites. And if you are a Levite, you should have no inheritance. These people, they buy private jets up and down. They live a posh 5-star lifestyle. Now she's there telling you all that you are bastards if you listen to anyone that tells you what the scripture says. And people are calm. This is hypnotism 101. Hypnotism 101. That's what's going on there. You will hear what she will say. That you will die. So I'm warning you, be careful. But the blind lady said that she's saving lives. Listen.
Don't be an Absalom whose father raised, and then he stood at the gate destroying the same father when he was going to die. I read it recently. He was.
Oh, let me just stop her there and take it back. You know what? She said, don't be an Absalom whose father raised and stood in the front of the gate against the father. This woman is an idiot. A maximum hyper moron. Number one, let me take you now to the Bible 101. Madam. No, you are not madam. Let me take you back. What made Absalom to stand against David? You idiots, church-going bandits in Nigeria, you don't know. What made Absalom to stand against David? David killed an innocent man and took the wife. David committed murder despite all that God gave him. That was why God said that from his own house, he will raise an obstacle against him. So it was God that brought out Absalom, and it was God that still took him back because David repented. How many of you can repent as Abel Damina is doing right now? How many? You see the way they cleverly scoop this Bible, remix it and give it to you, AI pattern. You see, you will hear her say the way Absalom died, and you say, be careful, because you will be next. You will hear her say it.
He destroyed the same father when he was going to die. I read it recently.
She even read the Bible recently of when Absalom was going to die. According to her, she read it recently. All the years from her Bible school, her training, her pastoral level, her what is called her indoctrination or inauguration as a pastoress, because she's a female. They never told her, so she had to go and do some Google arrangement to check for Absalom to know how he died. That's why she came out. I read it recently. Why is she saying this? Someone is exposing the corrupt practices of churches in Nigeria. A place where you will talk, a pastor will order soldiers or police to go and kill you extrajudiciously. And nobody will do a shit about that. She's here with boldness speaking to you people, you morons.
He destroyed the same father when he was going to die. I read it recently. He was caught. His head was caught between the earth and the heaven.
Ask her to explain the side that his head was caught between the earth and the heaven. According to her, Yoruba did earth and heaven. Ask her. She will not be able to explain it. She knows nothing. She's an empty head, just as Omenwa that is standing in front of you now in the picture. Empty heads everywhere.
That was the way he died. Before Joab now.
Before Joab now, that was the way he died. Before Joab now. You see, Madam, criminals threatening you with death always is something that we will not tolerate. We will never ever tolerate it. Before Joab now, you see, now get the final warning from her.
Go and read it. He was hanging between heaven and the earth. Be careful.
You heard her? Be careful. Be careful. Such a criminal. Such a shameless entity. That's the word there on your screen. You can see it. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Harriet Tubman. She freed who? She freed 1,000 slaves. There she is on your screen.
In the name of Jesus.
She freed 1,000 slaves. What criminals do we have everywhere? What criminals do we have everywhere? And here on your screen, we have this one.
Please.
Remember,
Don't try to drown the person that taught you how to swim. You will drown.
We have this one.
The man of God that held your hand when you were nothing. When nobody will have touched you with the longest of poles. The man that stood there, stayed with you while you were having your babies. The altar that blessed you. Don't take the testimony to...
Get out of my screen. I don't have your time. You're not the one that I want to bring up.
remember, if all
This
you
is what I
see
want
is
to bring up. This is what I want to bring up. I'll move it to this side. I'll move it to this side. Look at both of them. This one in the center saved 1,000. The one on the other side is still saving people up to now, saving souls. The useless woman that just finished speaking told you that you are going to die if you listen to the the truth or the true preaching coming from the right source. If you don't give them money, you will die. Yet they are serving God. Their God, the Nigerian God, specializes in killing people that don't pay tithes. God will take your life. Pew! According to her, you will be caught in the heaven and in the earth. The other man said that you will go to hell because he's trying to force someone to confess to witchcraft. Nigeria. And you will tell me that you people are normal. Nigeria. And you will tell me that there is a God in Nigeria. It's not so. It's not done that way. Nigeria, we have multiple social media personnel, people that are working online, that are making videos every day, content makers. Listen to the content coming from the Nigerian content makers. Pile of junk coming from the Nigerian content makers. Go and listen to them and see the rubbish they talk. Go there. Others are using the power of social media to leverage, to push a message so that the world will get to know who they are. Nigeria. We are using ours for foolishness. For foolishness. You know, people don't get used to channels like this, Ancient do, when it comes to the Nigerian space, because those people are eternally mad. They don't. All they care about is food. But that's a young black lady. Harriet Tubman was a black slave. This is a young black lady in our age and time. Both of them suffered the same fate. Harriet Tubman had epilepsy. This one is blind. And Harriet Tubman lived the rest of her life with epilepsy, and she saved 1,000 people. This one will live the rest of her life blind, and she will save more than 1,000 people in this age and time. They are practicing humanity. That is their impact in the society. Nigeria, we are not practicing humanity. We are practicing financial madness. Get the money at all costs. That is why we have educated bandits everywhere. Getting international honors. But they can never ever stand before the media to tell the world the truth about what's going on in Nigeria. They will never ever do that. But there is a light of hope. What is that light of hope? Ancient people will put it out the way we need to put it out, so that your shame will be displayed in the public full time. Those of you that use media to lie to the world that Nigeria is good, your shame will be disgraced in the public. We'll display it. What's the name of that guy? Burna Boy, that said his music is to unite Africa. Your shame will also be displayed to the entire world. We'll bring Burna Boy here and we'll tear him down. The evil going on in your country, from where you come from, Burna Boy, you have not done anything. People that are being killed every day, you have not done anything. You have not said one word about it today. But you are busy thinking of how to unite Africa. That is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. Hyper hypocrisy of the higher level. That is what it is. Look at a young girl, blind. She's not up to 40. Sanna Marin wasn't up to 40. She was 33 when she was the president of Finland. We have so many young people around the world doing giant things. Nigeria. Your young people will stand up to support evil without shame, such as Brother Mike. Supporting evil without shame because they gave you little money. Little money. You started talking from the other side of your mouth. With all the pastors in Nigeria, Nigeria is the way it is. With all the God's general in Nigeria, Nigeria is the way it is. This is to prove to you all that there is no God in Nigeria. Any type of God that you want to think of, there is no God except one. And that one is Lucifer. Lucifer is the God that is ruling that space. Listen to this lady before we round up.
A dash of magic beans can achieve. Since the last summit, I've tirelessly worked towards making Kenya more inclusive and equitable.
She has tirelessly worked towards making Kenya more inclusive and equitable. How many of you in Nigeria can do this? She's not up to 40. Nigeria, you will be 60 years before you become a, what is it called, a councillor or a local government chairman. You will get up to 60 years. And if you are young, taking up that position, you will be a slave to whosoever that permitted you, your political godfather. Nigeria, shameless things. Continue.
The laws that I am sponsoring now, such as the PWD bill, the Kenya Sign Language bill, the Learners with Disabilities bill.
She is pushing for different bills right now in Kenya. And you heard what she said. In Nigeria, can you tell me anybody that is physically challenged that will be recognized in Nigeria? Just one. But this is Kenya. This is Kenya. Later, Nigeria will brag they are giants of Africa. It's a shame. Look at the bills that she's pushing. Wait, you will hear more.
The Startup Bill, the Public Participation Bill, and 4 major amendments to transportation laws to address increasing road crashes that are killing too many young people in Kenya today.
That is where I want to stop it. That is where I want to stop it. The road accidents that are killing too many young Kenyan people. She's pushing for a bill to amend the rules and do everything right so that young Kenyans, Kenyan youth will not die. Nigeria, the death of a youth is nothing. That's why Paul and Enche can say, take them to a place where they will never ever return again. Your pastor. You see, this is the Pulpit Bandits series. Both the regular series and the extra plus one. Everything we do here, we'll narrate it, we'll always bring it back to your pastors, your church, your organization. Bring it back there. Because that is the foundation. And that foundation must be dealt with. That's why we are here. Some others will have social media handles. Once they make a couple of noise, they get an email or a phone call. Next thing you see them, they start talking rubbish after they have exchanged account details. They start talking rubbish, Nigerians. The world is watching. The world knows what is going on. So for you to start acting as if you don't know what's going on, it's a shame. The world at large knows what's going on. So it's up to you to stand up and be counted, or you keep wallowing in murky waters. In the dustbin. The highest the Nigerians can do is every little thing. They just come out with their phone. Oh, we are putting the world at alert. Oh, they are killing us. The world can look at it. America, UK, hey, Russia, hey, United Nations, come and help us. That is the highest the Nigerians can do. Highest. But put them in a position, empower them to do that thing. Next thing, they take the money, they buy house, they go abroad, they buy house. They buy Porsche cars. They start making noise. If it's the men, they marry multiple women. If it's the women, what the sickening thing, the women will go and marry multiple men in Nigeria of today. And you don't want us to address it. We will address everything. Those ones are stories for another time in the subsequent series that will come up. We will dig into all those things. So we are stopping our broadcast here. I want this to be a take home for you to sit down and think. Get this program, share it. Share it. Follow us for more. Because now we'll be coming out more regularly. Well, peep into what's going on in Nigeria and speak out against it. Because evil will always grow from strength to strength if good people keep silent. Until someone that is good will rise up to start speaking out, then evil will not stop. But when a good man stands up and speaks out, it will be the beginning of the end for evil. Because with time, more voices will join. Then the consciousness of everyone will wake up and evil will be completely purged out of the land. Okay? That is what we are here for. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. Thank you all for taking out your time to join us in this broadcast for today, or for taking out your time to watch this broadcast of today. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.